We've done something wrong. There's something, you're going to figure it out. Maybe it's a spray that we spray all over the place that nobody else does, other countries don't.
Pictures showed an upright, bald ape called Oliver, who appeared to be a cross between a human and a chimpanzee, what scientists refer to as a humanzee.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Forbidden Feed. As usual, take these videos with a grain of salt. You decide what's true or false. Time is valuable, so I won't waste any. Let's jump right into it. Quite a way to start.
Stacks and quietly just do whatever we want.
Robots getting aggressive.
In January 1976, news broke of a phenomenon. Pictures showed an upright, bald ape called Oliver, who appeared to be a cross between a human and a chimpanzee, what scientists refer to as a humanzee.
The existence of Oliver represented the first really tangible bit of ostensible evidence for a human-chimpanzee hybrid.
It's a real-life
Oliver's
teaser.
photograph shocked the world, and in the media frenzy that followed, he became an international celebrity.
Life hacks.
It's you and me. And if only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap.
By now, I've seen so many free energy videos that it just like, I don't understand how we're still paying for electricity and all this kind of stuff. There's like magnetic energy. There's people pulling energy from the ionosphere. There's hydrogen energy. There's all sorts of stuff.
Places, be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. See if only cool.
What I would do if I was in charge, I don't want to be, but if I was,
People who eat hot dogs eat them because they taste so good. But what's in them is not so good. You know, we've learned to accept it, but I don't know if you'll feel so accepting after this. The company Clear Foods recently analyzed 345 hot dog and sausage products from 75 brands and retailers and found, are you hot dog lovers ready for this? Human DNA in 2% of the samples and in 2/3 of the vegetarian samples. And get this, 10% of all vegetarian products appear to contain meat. Clear Foods says that there are some companies producing high-quality hot dog, top scores to Butterball, McCormick, Eckrich, and Hebrew National. Human DNA.
Y'all, the next war of our lifetime is going to be ridiculously scary. Let me walk you through some realistic scenarios. And believe it or not, everything I'm showing you is 100% real. Alright, so first picture this. Y'all are able to wipe out the enemy team. You're right in front of a pond, and all of a sudden, thousands of drones come up out the water! Yes, attack drones can now sit at the bottom of lakes and other bodies of water with weaponry and come out whenever they want to. And when you least expect it, bam, they're everywhere. Y'all thought you had it down, but that's only 1/10. Let's keep moving on. Now, if you happen to be blessed enough to survive the drone avalanche, and also the nuke avalanche, too bad they know where every single one of y'all are hiding because they have put thousands of satelloons right above our head. But even more dangerous than this is the all-seeing tech soldiers. But not so quick, my friend, because you still gotta deal with the holograms. Enemy countries will be actively throwing holograms in the sky to make people think their gods are coming. And in conjunction with the satelloons, they'll make you be able to hear it too. And many people at this moment will let their guard down. Alright, so somehow you made it through all that stuff. Now the iron mixed with clay can start looking for you. And these AI techno-soldiers can see your heat signatures. They can basically read your thoughts. You think it's far-fetched? Your phone camera does that. Somehow you win, you defeat them, you call your dog to go home, but boom, it's not your dog. It's a robo-dog, he has a flamethrower, and you're done.
This boy's whole face is covered with hair. Lilette suffers from werewolf syndrome, causing hair to grow excessively all over his arms, body, and face. Initially, doctors told his parents to just shave it all off. However, that didn't do anything because the hair grew back even faster. While there is no cure for his condition at the moment, there are other hair removal methods the family will try as Lilette gets older.
While millions of people struggle to pay their bills, there are 3 ways of generating electricity. Take a look at this rare electricity generating stone that was found in Africa.
Here's another one. Electricity from a stone.
And choices we got in life, those were your choices. Who shot who? Somebody got shot?
Oh, that guy shot himself.
You can now buy a flame-throwing robot dog. And I mean, like, you can, because they are federally unregulated. I'm sure we've all seen robot dogs before, but a company in Ohio saw them and was like, well, what if we put a flamethrower on it? The company behind the dog, which they call the Terminator, suggests it can be used for wildlife control or even clearing snow and ice from your driveway. The Terminator can run 6 miles an hour, has laser sighting, an hour battery life, and can shoot the flame 30 feet. And you could own one for $9,400.
Have you heard the theory that the Trumps are time travelers?
Grab me a DeLorean.
Yes. This connects to, guess who? Nikola Tesla.
No way.
Nikola Tesla died in the New York hotel or something. And within his hotel, that he had 80 plus trunks of all his patents, his designs for different technologies, all this stuff. Guess who they sent first to go and collect the stuff?
I don't know.
John G. Trump. Donald Trump's uncle.
What?
Weird.
So the theory is that he took some of these trunks.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But Tesla said that he had figured out how to bend time.
Yeah.
Trump's uncle was also like some kind of professor at MIT, so he knew exactly what to do with like the paperwork that Tesla came up with. Pretty interesting theory. There's like more behind it too, with like Baron Trump and some books, and yeah, look into it.
And so,
as one does,
the theory is Donald Trump's uncle took this, created a time machine.
Oh my gosh.
And traveled back in time and like did all this stuff. But then the weird connection is there was a book that came out in 1896, and it's called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey.
Okay, so someone else named Baron Trump, or you're saying
do you know
it was actually Baron Trump?
Do you know what the book was about?
What?
Time travel?
Baron Trump time traveling.
No!
But, we have one stat that I quote, the autism stat. And you hear different numbers, but it's thousands. They say between 10 and 20,000. So if you go back 15 years ago, we had like nobody. It was 1 in 20,000. Now we have 1 in 34. Is that right? 34. So 34 or 36 kids have autism. And if you go back, I guess 18 years, that whenever that was done, it was 1 in 20,000. So we got from 20,000 to 34, 36. That's unbelievable. So there's something wrong. There's something wrong. We've done something wrong. There's something, you're going to figure it out. Maybe it's a spray that we spray all over the place that nobody else does. Other countries don't.
There's this thing called the Black Eye Club. A lot of celebrities, even presidents, people in power, all at some point had this like black eye. And that was a sign that they've initiated into this elitist club. Everybody Google the Black Eye Club. and you can see different celebrities that have it. Like there's literally so many here. I'll show you right now. Check this out. Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Adam Sandler, George Bush, Barack Obama, bro.
Kanye West? What?
Kanye, okay, but that was from his crash.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's hard to say for sure. Things like this, we can't know for sure because maybe they just had an accident. You know what I mean?
I know, but the symbolism, like you said, mask, and she was dressed up, right?
Mhm.
And there was a movie where she was trying to represent like that movie.
Yeah.
And in that movie, she was wearing a Volto mask, which
What's
means
that?
which means ghost, right? Which translates to ghost. And that same person in that movie that she dressed up as, she was sacrificed in that
Oh,
movie.
shit.
So it's like you have the black eye, you have the mask.
Diddy gave Bieber that black eye. Damn. Legit exoskeleton? Is this AI though? Like, doesn't look like it. Y'all think this is legit? Looks legit to me. It looks real. It looks like they're in Japan trying some new exoskeleton suits. Don't touch those electric wires, jeez.
Injured. An 18-year-old pilot was injured after a plane crash in Maryland. Speaking of plane crashes and planes, it was just a plane out of New York to Delhi that just had a possible bomb on that motherfucker. And they had to redirect and stop it in Rome. It seems like this is the year of the planes. 11 dead within 21 states because it's a fucking recall on some sheikhs that they've been sending out to nursing homes and other institutes. Downey administration orders a shutdown of the national database that documents police misconduct. He did say whenever he get in that motherfucker, he gonna make sure that them police are getting away with things. Senator Babbitt came out and tweeted that the world is being controlled by satanic pedophiles. 6,000 IRS employees about to get fired by April the 1st. Donnie announced that he about to end the health care for telehealth, and then all of the VA health workers been fired and then reinstated. Now they say they really don't even want their fucking job no more because they don't trust Trump or Elon. Daily Post announced that the vax wasn't shit but a biological DNA change in the body. Final documents came out of Obama's real birth certificate, and his ass wasn't never even born in the United States, and his wife, husband, is actually a man. America is going under a civil unrest. Ain't nobody talking about it.
Not even 24 hours into him becoming an FBI director, this man already put out a hit list. He said, first thing of business, I'm going after the deep state. What is the deep state? The deep state is a hidden network of individuals in the government, the military, the intelligence agencies. So essentially, it's the higher ups, the elites. These people secretly influence or control national policies, regardless of who's really the face of it. Behind the scenes, they like, yeah, we running this shit. Kash Patel said, no mas. Look at this list, y'all. You're gonna definitely have to pause it or rewatch it. Here go one. This is the whole thing together. Now I understand why they told Joe Biden, why didn't he pardon himself? He pardoned all these other people but himself. And his name on that list. But this also be why a lot of politicians that was in the DMV area is leaving, and they was looking up immunity in non-extradition countries. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments. I'm gonna keep y'all updated. And that list gonna be dropping soon, as he said. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the
More free energy. What is this red mercury, man?
Map from only 200 years ago shows California as an island with a Red Sea running in between. Wait for the zoom out. This is the full map of America 200 years ago. A Chinese map from 1418 by Zhang He also shows California as an island.
This guy's really going for the shock value. Comes out here with his titties out.
Yep, deadly rotting body parts with deadly diseases are being found in Arizona tea cans, being served globally, and the FDA will not do anything about this. People were terrified after a viral video showed one person drinking an Arizona tea can and they started vomiting after tasting something spicy. And when they dumped the can out, what seemed to be the backside of an eyeball started to emerge. And this was not an isolated incident, as hundreds of haunting videos showed what appeared to be fleshy, mucousy things pulled out, with some being as large as the palm of someone's hand, resembling several internal body parts. Experts report if you drink something with rotting flesh inside, you could develop as much as anthrax or a flesh-eating virus. Other theories that are more likely suggest Arizona tea cans, when sat there too long, the flavoring and tea leaves can separate, turning into this. And if this bothers you or tastes weird, just dump it out. What we are seeing as the mucus thing is just a mixture of the sugar and flavoring, and what appeared to be the front of the eyeball is just the can's tab and is not harmful.
Following the introduction of modifications which had been indicated by the results of full-scale tunnel testing of the Avro car at NASA Ames Research Center, a continuation test program was begun. The objective of this program was to prove the effectiveness of the new control system from hovering through transition in the presence of the ground up to free flight conditions. The program consisted in the main of further wind tunnel tests at Ames Research Center to prove the effects of these modifications, with a short flight test program at Avro to establish that the hovering capability had not deteriorated. A brief terrain test program was later added. The modifications provided for aft deployment of the peripheral jet sheet from the wing tip for transition and forward flight.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers. We can say that the recent sightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any department of the United States.
Sounds familiar with these orbs. It's weird.
All right, now lose it. Just lose it. Go crazy. Oh baby, baby.
So nobody else finds this weird.
That is kind of weird, like when you can see both the sun and the moon at the same time, like shouldn't one be on the other side of the planet?
Supposedly there is a patent for TV mind control. Let's type it in. All right, there it is right there. Google patents. Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. That's nice. 2001. Effects have been observed in a human subject in response to stimulation of the skin with weak electromagnetic fields. Any computer monitors and TV tubes, when displaying pulsed images, emit pulsed electromagnetic fields of sufficient amplitudes to cause excitation. It is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject, I like how they use that word, by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer monitor or TV set. Claims a method for manipulating the nervous system of a subject located near a monitor. The monitor emitting an electromagnetic field when displaying an image by virtue of the physical display process. The subject having a sensory resonance frequency. Still watching the TV, people. Even though everything on it's fake, the news is fake, and keep in mind, they know that the news is fake.
We know the truth now here. I'm glad to be back. Let's get TikTok back rolling the right way. We have another evidence that Egypt derived her civilization from Atlantis. Let's keep going. This is a map from the 1600s calling North, Central, and South America Atlantis. Atlantis Insula. Let's keep going. Now, Central America, they called it Atlantis Isthmus. Let's see what isthmus means. Isthmus, the narrow strip of land connecting two larger land areas, connecting North and South America. Let's keep going. This book is called New Atlantis. Let's keep it rolling. How the Great Atlantis, which we call America. Let's keep going. This is another book, Atlantis in America, Navigators of the Ancient World. Let's keep going. The first paragraph in this book says, where was the Atlantis of myth? If you are presently upright in any part of the Americas, you are standing on it, which is Atlantis. We know the truth now.
Everything vibrates at a frequency, and if you know that frequency, you can control things. This is the model, and this is diagramming all the frequencies of the elements and what their vibrational frequencies are, and the numbers that measure those frequencies. And they're all the numbers we get from looking at these ancient traditions that recur over and over and over again.
And so through this technology, they're able to move stones or cut stones or all the above?
All the above.
We call these transducers, which is just a fancy word for speakers. These speakers, they only work at one frequency, and this frequency is 40 kilohertz, which we shouldn't be able to hear. Only bats, dogs, and other animals should be able to hear 40 kilohertz. But because the ultrasound is so powerful, if we put some particles, they should be kept in midair with the power of sound. And all these things that they are just being like kept there with air, actually it's not air, it's the ultrasound pushing them from all directions.
Looks like it's hanging by something to me.
Scientists already knew that sound waves create oscillating pockets of pressurized air, which can produce a force on an object capable of counteracting the pull of gravity. But while ultrasound levitation devices do exist, they all rely on standing waves created when two sound waves of the same frequency are emitted from opposite directions and superimposed on one another. That means all previous devices require two sets of transducers.
That's wild. Somebody's got some good bass. But the whole door, like, waving. That's crazy. How does it just go right back into the seals? Look at that. know you know.
A storm is coming. Oh, a storm is coming. Oh, a storm is coming. Oh, a storm is coming. A storm is coming. A storm is coming. A storm is coming.
Podestas, Wieners, bunch of great people.
Here you'll see Johnny Depp talking with Lawrence Krauss. He praises his red shoes. Even says you might kiss them. Check this out.
What's your favorite color? No, I'm not.
Is it that those are killer stones, by the way? Is it that those are killer stones, by the way?
Anyway, sorry, go on.
I might kiss that shoe before the end of the night.
It's there.
I might kiss that shoe before the end of the night.
It's there.
We had another plane crash and it's February 19th. Everybody and their freaking mom needs to see this video. I asked AI to lay out every single plane crash from January of last year to this year. I'm about to slow this down for y'all. Wait for the pictures. 28th, 29th, 31st, February 7th, February 10th, the 12th, 17th, the 19th. At this point, I'm saying you're missing a ton of notable crashes because I noticed that the AI did not show me but maybe 50% of them. Wait until you see how crazy this gets now. At this point, we're getting 2 a month until December of last year, and we start having like 5 or 10 per month in the last 3 months. So what's happening in the last 3 months that's causing planes to go down every other day? Why isn't the news coming out and saying that something weird is going on, y'all? I will be staying far away from planes.
It was all written about, no question whatsoever. They wrote about these things happen and things turn into stone. Look at this. This guy, I've shown this 100 times. Leg, that's the tendon that runs down the leg. That's the blood at the bottom of his leg. This is literally his kneecap. This is the fleshy area. It turns to stone. The fleshy part turns to stone. Blood and the real fluidy, wet stuff doesn't. It stays inside. And it will leak out eventually, just like this one is. This is as strange as it gets. And I am just as baffled as anybody. But look at this. What the hell is that? There's something with like spongy looking legs on it. And I don't have any idea what that is. And this guy is saying, what did you do to me? Look at him, look at his face. And that's what they said. And they were amazed when this stuff happened to him. Right at the very first words, he says, I intend to speak of forms changed into new entities. Now listen to this. Accompanying this theme is often violence inflicted upon a victim whose transformation becomes part of the natural landscape. Now listen to this. There's a great variety among the types of transformations that take place, from humans to innate objects like the river, constellations, turn them into animals, from forms like ants and fungi into mushrooms and humans and they used to call them alchemy and alchemists. It's just insane. I don't know.
Most chicken today has a lot of hormones in it. Cows have a lot of hormones in it. And some of it is natural hormones and the others are synthetically injected hormones. But when you eat the chicken, you eat the cow, you eat the hormones. And the unfortunate thing is the more and more you eat of that, it raises the estrogen levels in the body. And this is why you're seeing so many men who struggle with building muscle mass, so many men who are developing what are called man boobs, gynecomastia, and then so many men who are balding, so many men who are having these what look to be like normal signs of aging, but it's really normal signs of deficiencies in testosterone. The last thing I want to do in this day and age is to do anything that lowers my testosterone. What we're eating today is very different from what our great-grandparents ate, and especially our ancestors ate. It's just not the same anymore. It would typically take a chicken like 6 months to grow to full size. Now it takes 28 days. Most of these chickens, they're growing so quick. The unfortunate thing is they can't even walk because they haven't developed the muscles enough to be able to walk because their size grew so quickly.
So the mission of XAI and Grok is to understand the universe. We want to understand the nature of the universe so we can figure out what's going on, where are the aliens, what's the meaning of life, how does the universe end, how did it start, all these fundamental questions. We're driven by curiosity about the nature of the universe, and that's also what causes us to be a maximally truth-seeking AI, even if that truth is sometimes at odds with what is politically correct. In order to understand the nature of the universe, you must absolutely rigorously pursue truth, or you will not understand the universe.
Did you guys see this in Alaska today, y'all? I don't think this is a good omen, y'all. Do you guys see this? There are tens and tens of bald eagles all over this Alaskan dump, y'all, in a city called Unalaska, Alaska. I've never even heard of this city. Y'all, this is not a good omen. The bald eagles represent America, and they are literally eating out of the dump in Alaska in a city called Unalaska. Look at this guy over here, y'all. And then the fact that he's able to get up close to him like that, look how dirty he is. Oh my goodness. Why does that eagle look like it's been through some things? And then the fact that you can just literally walk up to it and pet it like that, look how dark it looks. Look how dark it looks, y'all. Just from this video alone, you guys can already tell what's getting ready to happen. I don't even need to say anything, y'all. You guys have intuition. Big shifts are here, y'all. Big shifts already happening on the planet if you're paying attention. You guys see this. But yeah, y'all, let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace in.
I spent some time with the Great Pyramid at Giza probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and I had a chance to finally look down that subterranean shaft that goes way down beneath the pyramid. Have you ever been down beneath that pyramid or into any other secret shafts that exist over there?
Of course, I was down there, and this is still a mystery. You know, this shaft is chiseled out and it goes down 87 meters in diagonal. If you look at the straight, it would be more than 50 meters in the ground, and nobody has an answer why. Just imagine a pharaoh gives an order, okay, we need a shaft down there, a room. So they chisel it down, and they make that room, and the room is empty. There's nothing in there. So there must be something which we miss still today. I often knock on the wall, and sometimes it sounds hollow, but you cannot go down and chisel it. But something is a mystery down there.
We're going to go into something right now, All Things Bugs. That is a company sponsored by Bill Gates, funded by Bill Gates and the Department of Defense and the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency that is coming out with insect-based foods. Huh? I'm going to say it again. Insect-based foods. Cricket protein powder, worm-based ravioli.
Man, stop playing.
I'm so
Y'all heard of that, like, maggot milk? It's supposed to be like the most nutritious kind of thing you can drink. It's some new fad that's going around. I, for one, will not be drinking that shit. I don't know. Like, I don't really care how good it is for you. I don't know. You guys gonna drink it if it's like the best health juice or health milk you can ever have? You guys gonna drink that shit? Let me know down in the comments.
Brother, I need y'all to put up on the screen if you can. All Things Bugs. I'm just letting y'all know how far this is going, which is why we have to separate from the system. And when you say separate, it's in stages, it's in degrees, it's in levels. Don't eat what they feed you. Feed yourself, right? For example, okay, so we have to grow our own food. All right, that's one. And a lot of our people are doing that. The reason why they're able to fund these kind of corporations like this that produce insect-based food is because there are enough mouths that keep coming to them. It's invested in. Just like the next thing I'm going to mention now is they're coming out. Remember, we talked about the shots, and everything your brother said turned out to be true. Now they say, well, damn, we know that they're not going to take these next round of boosters and all this nonsense. So what are we doing? University of Riverside in California. I'm so sad that it's in California again. But University of Riverside has been studying putting mRNA, messenger ribonucleic acid, which is the primary component of the shots, putting that in lettuce, potatoes, soybeans. So basically, instead of you taking a shot, because we know you more than likely ain't gonna take another one after what we just did to y'all, you're gonna eat this lettuce though, and them burritos and them bowls. You're gonna eat these potatoes with them eggs and all that you're eating. I'm serious. Y'all hear what I'm saying to you? Yeah, this is a very real thing. mRNA injected foods.
How you be
so
knowing
you're gonna
all
eat
this
your
stuff?
vaccines instead of getting the shot of a vaccine.
How you be knowing all this stuff?
It is my duty. It's my purpose, right? It's my mission. Like we all have our place in the mission. This is mine. Not only do I have to know the information, I have to spread the information, then I have to create solutions with which to activate on that information.
And all this stuff can be researched and fact checked
all day long. That's why I'm giving you names, references, all that. Because we're not going to get up here and just spew some nonsense just so we can look good and look at me. Brother, I'm not into that nonsense. We do this in real life. They'll do this. They'll put it in written text for the most part. So right now you have it in scientific studies. If you Google All Things Bugs, please do it right now, live and in studio right now. Google it. I want y'all to see it for yourself because it is unbelievable.
That's fucked up. Oh. Damn. That's fucked up.
Those crazy tinfoil hat people are not that crazy after all. I keep hearing from my clients that their health has taken a turn for the worse when they move near a 5G tower or one gets built next to them. And of course, you keep hearing about all kinds of conspiracy theories online about how dangerous those things are. In 2010, Spanish scientists observed 2 tanks of tadpoles for 2 months that were placed about 140 meters from the cell phone tower. One group was protected by a Faraday cage and the other was not. By the end of 6 weeks, 90% of unprotected tadpoles were dead, when the mortality of a protected group was only 4%. You might say, well, we are not tadpoles. Another study from Brazil done in 2011 showed
Might not be tadpoles, but our sperm looks like some tadpoles for real.
significantly higher risk of dying from cancer if your home was 500 meters or less from a cell phone tower. Scientists also found that living next to a 5G tower increases your risk of breast and brain cancers, and 1 year is all that it takes for that risk to skyrocket. And that's why one thing is clear to me.
Boutez is the kite. Ben Franklin flew the kite and got electricity, right? Boutez and the kite refers to the constellation Boutez, which is often described as having a kite-like shape due to the arrangement of the stars, with the brightest star, Arcturus, forming the tail of the kite. Now, we all heard the cap story of Ben Franklin discovering electricity with a kite and a key and lightning. Let's keep going. Now, when Ben Franklin said they used the kite for electricity, they was really talking about the Boutez star constellation with the star Arcturus. In the 1933 World's Fair, Arcturus lit up Tartarian buildings in Chicago. Let's keep going. Now, they learned free energy from the Tartarian buildings of America. They used telescopes to store the photons from the Arcturus star in amplifiers, and they used that energy to light buildings up at the World's Fair. Check this out. The official version of how photons from the star Arcturus triggered an electrical signal that lit up the 1933 World's Fair. Look at the kite. Now, the Travel and Transport Building at the 1933 Chicago World's Fair was lit up at night with special lighting effects. Yes, photons can indirectly create electricity. People, this is real. Stars release photons. When collected, you can create free energy. I just broke down how the Tartarian buildings harvest free energy.
More free energy.
We know the truth now.
There's the iron. So you take the iron and you iron just on the corner of the bed. Now the reason for this is to see whether there's bed bugs on your mattress, because the heat will draw the bed bugs out, and bed bugs live on the corner of a mattress. And this is what you have to do every single time you check into a new hotel, because there's thousands of people that sleep on these mattresses. And look at this, this is a brand new mattress, and look, there's marks on it. Right, there we go. That should be enough now. Let's see whether we have any bed bugs left. Let's see. Oh my God, look! Oh my gosh, look at that! No! Yeah, I'm not sleeping in here. But you know what? I'm going to see whether I can draw out more bed bugs. So I'm going to cover it up now.
The bed protector had like a rip in it.
It needs to be tight for this to work. I'm going to go around like this. Let's see. So like I said, the heat draws the bed bugs out, and I cannot believe there was how many was there? There must have been about 20 there, right? So right, let's go. a little bit longer. And this is what I'm telling you guys. Seriously, always do this, right? When you check into a hotel on the mattress. Because this is absolutely disgusting. And this is a 5-star hotel as well. A 5-star hotel, and there's bed bugs.
Yeah,
and look at that, the mattress protector. I've just checked in and it has stains on. So this hasn't even been cleaned.
5-star hotel and it's got a rip and a stain on the mattress protector.
Oh my, look at them all. Look at them all. Look at them moving. Oh my God. There we go, guys. So that's it. I'm not staying in this room.
I can't believe they're still going forward with the Super Bowl after everything that happened.
No, it's like been outed 100% that it's scripted. I've lost so much money this year.
An NFL player, Arian Foster, even came out and told us about the scripts he would get before each season.
And Trevor Lawrence, too. He did it in an interview saying that it was scripted, like they couldn't have wrote a better script.
They still put on a performance, but it's all entertainment. It's not sport.
It's crazy people actually believe that it's like an actual competition.
And you can still bet on it, which is insane.
It's funny, before we started taping, Arian was telling me about how the NFL is rigged and how every year he used to get a script.
Yeah.
Day one of training camp that would get dropped off at his locker. And you would have to, it was like week 1, you'll do this. Week 2, you're going to have a hamstring injury. Week 3, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Week 4, you're going to get 3 touchdowns. And so then you just have to, did you memorize those before the season started? Or would you go and rehearse the script before every game?
We were really dedicated to it. So it was more so like, that's what practice was about. It was about practicing the script. Like, this is what goes on and this is what we have to do in order to,
And this referee is going to miss this call.
Yeah,
because they hate you and they love the Colts, that
it's
sort of thing.
WWF, so it's like, you know, we know what's going to happen, but you still got to put on a show.
Yeah.
What did you think when you got the script in 2016 that said your career was going to fall off a cliff when you stopped believing in God?
That was 2015.
Yeah.
Certain levels of initiation through which you leave dimensionalized reality. Okay, so this is called the Betahuva key. And it's called the key because what it gives you is the literal diagram of the 12 strands of the silicate matrix gene code and how they plug into each other. Now, if you will look, I have a series of darker dots and lighter dots, and each are marked off as part of one strand. Now, the darker dots represent the magnetic heli in that strand, and it contains 12 base codes. The electrical heli, which is the light dots in that strand, contains 12 acceleration codes. The base codes and the acceleration codes have a sound equivalent. They are both subtones, and when they combine, they form a full tone. So if you combine the 12 and 12, you have 24 pieces right now, you combine them, you end up with 12 full tones. Now, what's really fun, I love this part for some reason, I think I've probably been working on it for many incarnations. When the tones are combined, so you have your base codes, which are a base tone, and you have your acceleration codes, which are an overtone. You combine a base tone and an overtone, you get a resonant tone. There's your full tone. Now, those full tones were represented in many of our ancient teachings. They actually followed some of the patternings of the original Hebrew alphabet. They were expressed in the Hebrew language. There were various languages. Basically, 5 languages are programmed into the DNA, but when it comes to the primary language that held the energy signatures, that controlled the primary 12 tones, it was the Hebrew language that controlled the 12 tones. And if there was any subtones or smaller energy imprints, there were other languages that applied to those. So if you wanted to get, in the old days, it worked that if you wanted to get control over your DNA code and how to handle it, you'd need the map, for one, to know where the strands were, what they meant, how they corresponded to these, which we'll get to in a minute. And you would need to know the codes, what sound tones these were. The sound tones were expressed in terms of the letters of the alphabet, of the Hebrew alphabet, but it has been eons since the correct sequences of those letters have been given. And many, many scholars, from what I understand, have been spending many, many eons trying to find out what the sequences of what they call the fire letters are. The fire letters which are addressed in things like the Keys of Enoch and those kind of things. The fire letters are the 12 tones.
These are magic mushrooms, family. Just think about it. In all the ancient religious pictures or paintings, there are mushrooms. Look, the holy ones and mushrooms. And look again, Jesus, and here, a mushroom. And again, holy ones, Jesus, mushrooms. From all the flowers around the world, they chose to depict a mushroom together with the holy one. This means that they already knew that mushrooms are one of the most important things on earth. One half claimed that it was just mushrooms, the other half claimed that it was magic mushrooms, psychedelics.
Kind of reminds me of the missing link or the stoned ape theory.
To alter state of their consciousness. According to new findings, the ancient civilization were already using psychedelic substances, like this, the magic mushroom. Even the modern day scientists are using it right now as a treatment of depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And the ancient one used it for mystical experiences. Learn more here.
One of the first original public clones was Michael Jackson.
What?
Yes. So if you take a look at Michael Jackson, right? Oh, he had plastic surgery. This is why they're making plastic surgery really popular, quote unquote, because they can basically deduce, oh, the celebrity had plastic surgery. It's not a clone, it's plastic surgery. That's why they look different, right? So Michael Jackson was their first sort of test run for cloning, and specifically the reason why they replaced him with a clone was because he was saying too much.
He was, right?
He was against the system. He was talking out of bounds, quote unquote, because they couldn't control him anymore.
Thank you for bringing this up because I am so stoked to talk about it. This is the Ursuline Convent in New Orleans, and legend has it that this attic is home to bloodsuckers. As many of you know, the founders of New Orleans were mostly French tradesmen and explorers and primarily men. Because of there being so few women, the colonizers reached out to King Louis to help them out. The king resolved this by sending girls and young women from convents and orphanages to New Orleans for marriage. It's said that these women were pale and gaunt and each carried a coffin-like suitcase much like this, earning these young women the name the Casket Girls. Now supposedly as soon as these women arrived, the mortality rate in New Orleans went up, especially the infant mortality rate. This caused the convent nuns to reach out to the archdiocese. After an investigation, the caskets were taken to the attic of the convent and sealed by 800 nails individually blessed by the Pope. Rumors started swirling that vampires had been smuggled into New Orleans, and many passerbys have claimed to see these shutters fly open on misty nights. I didn't have time, but I'll definitely be doing a part 2 about the paranormal investigators who lost their lives investigating this place.
Holy God. Just had it right fucking for it.
Looking like some AI to me. Yeah, the way the smoke follows the beam, I don't know. What do you guys think? This one though, I would say AI, but then it looks very similar to the one that just happened in the UK, which was legit. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's like a reverse lightning tornado. What the fuck was that? I don't know. I don't think this one's legit either, but who knows these days?
Medieval Irish werewolves were so fierce that there's written warnings about them as far away as Norway, and the Pope was taking meetings about them. Welcome to Heather's Hearth, the series where I'm sharing the epic folklore of the country I moved to. An 11th century Latin poem says, "There are some men of the Irish race who can speedily turn themselves into the form of wolves and rend flesh with wicked teeth." Of course, the Catholic Church wanted to take credit for these terrifying Irish werewolves, and by the 13th century, their story was that when St. Patrick was preaching at a group of pagans, they mocked him by howling like wolves. So, to punish them, he transformed them into huge wolves with cunning human minds. There's also a story that a priest gave Catholic last rites to a dying werewolf, and the rites transformed her back into a woman. The priest who performed this miracle was summoned to an audience with the Pope for his insights on how to deal with the Irish werewolf problem. By the 1600s, Ireland was so packed with wolves that it was nicknamed Wolfland by the English colonists. The process of what they considered civilizing Ireland involved clearing the woodlands of both wolves and woodkerns, the Irish rebels who lived in the forests. These two groups were considered so interchangeable by English law that the bounty paid for the head of an Irish wolf or a woodkern were the same. Officially, the last wolf in Ireland was hunted down in 1786. However, sightings of wolves and huge dire wolves persist here through modern times. Are these perhaps the fierce werewolves of Ireland living on?
From 1948 to 1973, for 25 years, the U.S. economy was so amazing that you could conceivably get a job. I mean, a regular job. I don't mean an amazing job. Just a job. And the pay would be so high and the benefits so amazing that you could not only afford to buy a house and feed your family, you might be able to send your kids to school, and you might be able to retire really well. That was the only time, in fact, in human history where a person could work and make wealth. Because if you look at the middle class today in the United States, they don't.
It reminds me of like watching the old sitcoms, like Married with Children and stuff, and like Al Bundy's got a job at a shoe store, and he's got 2 kids, a dog, and a wife, and he's able to keep up with his mortgage, grab groceries, do the 2 vacations a year, send kids to college or university, like go in the golf tournaments and do whatever the heck he wants. I know it's just a show, but I mean, back in the day, it was literally one income could handle a whole household. And now it's like you have to have the mother and the father working, and they're still struggling to get by, a lot of people. So it's just the contrast is pretty crazy. Something to keep note of.
Well, they barely get by. But for 25 years, people were prospering. If people aren't fretting about food, if they're not worried about shelter, if they're not in constant fear that the economic situation they're in will collapse, they have mind space to start to ask bigger and better questions. Wait a minute, what about civil liberties? What about civil rights? What about human rights? And the next thing you know, by 1954, 6 years into this explosive economy, we're in the middle of a revolution.
So just as a warning, this video might make you never want to show your face in public again, because the fact that people can do this is super creepy. I don't want to scare anyone by posting this, I just think it's important that everyone knows this is possible to do. I also want to show what you can do to prevent it. So in my last 2 videos, I shared 2 sites that by themselves are already pretty creepy. The first one is called Fast People Search, and it's a way to find people's address from their name. You can also find all their phone numbers, the names of their family, their nicknames, and even stuff like how many bedrooms are in their house. I'm using this person as an example because the second site is called PimEyes, and it's a face search engine. So you can upload a photo of someone, and then in a couple seconds see all the photos of them on the internet. Now by themselves, these sites are already kind of problematic, but together they're crazy. Because if someone sees a picture of you or takes a picture of you, they can then use PimEyes to get your legal name, and then use Fast People Search to get your address, your phone number, the layout of your home, everything. Again, I'm not sharing this to scare anyone or encourage anyone to do this. I just think people need to know that when they post a profile picture with their face in it, or create a dating app profile with their face in it, or just walk around in public with their face
in it.
an image of them can be used to figure out where they live. This is just another
That's
example
crazy.
where AI and data collection come together to make a personal security and privacy nightmare. I'm running out of time on this video, but if you want to know how to prevent this, stay tuned.
This divine sign, this is the preeminent sign of the African spiritual high culture, because it honors first of all the mother, the womb. It honors the father, and the census, the children that comes from the womb through the seed of the father. It also symbolizes the water that rises up from the earth, up to the clouds, falling back on the earth as rain to bring vegetation out of the ground. It also is spirit, mind, and matter. So however you look at Ankh, it shows the continuous regeneration of the life force.
Things humans weren't meant to see.
man traveled to Egypt and placed a remote-controlled car inside one of the pyramids.
Eventually.
The original poster claimed to have found something the government would want to keep a secret. He also wanted to be paid $5 million for the rest of the footage to be revealed, but it never did.
I think right now we're going down like a tunnel or a hallway.
As it gets deeper, it shows what appears to be a tall figure inside the chambers.
A tourist. That guy is either a really good actor or that's... The helicopter's yelling at him too. This one kind of looks legit. There's some good acting, if not.
Could it be that levitation is possible? Evidence shows that we can levitate objects. Why not ourselves? Here you see an acoustic levitation experiment. Air is a fluid. Sound produces vibrations. When those vibrations are trapped between two concave surfaces, you get what's called standing waves. Scientists must use the correct frequency, which is many times ultrasonic waves, to cause levitation of an object. This knowledge is not new. Tibetan monks have known the secrets of levitation for some time. An Oxford scientist, Dr. Jarl, recounts seeing the phenomenon firsthand. They maneuvered a large block of stone onto a concave stone slab in the middle of a meadow, then positioned themselves in a 90-degree angle 63 meters away from this stone with large trumpets and drums. They started with just one drum, but as the sound intensified, to Dr. Jarl's surprise, the stone wobbled and lifted up off the ground. It floated about 500 meters long and 250 meters high into a cavity in the side of the cliff. Could we acoustically levitate a person? I guess we'll find out in the 5.
A big hole was visible in one of the rock walls at a height of about 250 meters. Monks built a rock wall on a platform in front of this hole. By using ropes, the monks lowered themselves from the top of the cliff to this platform. There was a polished slab of rock in the middle of the meadow, about 250 meters from the cliff. The bowl had a diameter of 1 meter and a depth of 15 centimeters. Using yak oxen, a block of stone was maneuvered into the cavity. The block measured 1 meter wide by 1.5 meters long. Then, 19 musical instruments were set in an arc of 90 degrees at 63 meters from the stone slab. The radius of 63 meters was measured accurately. There were 13 drums and 6 trumpets among the musical instruments. 8 drums had a cross-section of 1 meter and a length of 1.5 meters.
All the drums were open at one end, while the other had a metal bottom on which the monks beat with big leather clubs. The monk behind the small drum signaled to start the concert when the stone was in position. The small drum was very sharp and could be heard even with the other instruments making a terrible din. All the monks were singing and chanting a prayer, slowly increasing the tempo of this unbelievable noise. During the first 4 minutes, nothing happened. Then, as the speed of the drumming and the noise increased, the big stone block started to rock and sway, and suddenly it took off into the air with an increasing speed in the direction of the platform in front of the cave hole, 250 meters high. After 3 minutes of ascent, it landed on the platform. The monks used this method to transport 5 to 6 blocks per hour on a parabolic flight track, approximately 500 meters long and 250 meters high. From time to time, a stone split, and the monks moved the split stones away.
What's the point of music? Niggas don't know. It's not always to have fun. Sometimes it's to help people find themselves, because music is frequency programming. What frequency are you being fed? So I was playing with frequency. I was playing with equalizers. I figured out that hertz is to understand the frequency vibration, right? Kilohertz, megahertz. If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind, and I can literally, like, if I want you to astral project, right, or if I want you to go to sleep, or if I want you to go into a meditative state, I can make my music do that. These little niggas out here don't give a fuck enough to go into that science, bro. These little niggas ain't studying kilohertz, megahertz, and doing all this shit.
So y'all in and out of New Orleans, y'all don't know what's going on? So y'all, I'm from New York, but my whole family's from the Caribbean. So I have a lot of friends and family that's in New Orleans because it's very similar cultures. So I see a lot of people talking about the vampires in New Orleans, and I'm kind of shocked that people don't know about this. Y'all ain't know there's vampires in New Orleans? So yes, there are vampires in the French Quarter, Bourbon Street. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. So if you haven't watched all the other videos on TikTok, please do. Please go watch them. There's a reason why in the Quarter they don't play any bounce or, you know, typical music that, you know, you would hear in New Orleans. They're playing old school jazz and blues. That's what they like to hear. So be careful of those vampire bars and even those people that's playing in costume and role play. Some of them people is real. That's not a joke and that's not a game. Being that said, I see a lot of people talking about the New Orleans vampires, but what about the werewolf families? We ain't gonna talk about them?
Are werewolves real? Because this video is crazy. This was captured by a witness driving down the road in the city of Muhajir in Azerbaijan. He captures this massive wolf running down a city road.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Straight out of the movie of Twilight.
A wolf.
Almost makes you wonder, do we really have werewolves? If not, this is a gigantic wolf. Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
I've always wanted a wolf. I love dogs, but a wolf would be sick. Look at that thing. It's majestic. Dang. Badass dog, yo.
mRNA vaccines have reached the pork industry, and here's what they're not telling you. So all across the US, pork can be vaccinated with the mRNA vaccine and not be labeled on the packages that you are buying in the grocery store. So we have no idea what pork has been vaccinated, what pork hasn't been. My best advice to get around this is find a great local pork dealer, go directly through them. And as always, guys, buy American and buy local.
Don't eat
So
pork.
this is how celebrities really stay so young. Check this out.
A113 appears in all, and I mean all, children movies. It's actually a chemical. And that chemical is only produced by adrenaline.
No
You know when you
way.
get that spike of energy when you're super angry or super afraid? Super afraid, huh? Like in Monsters, Inc. when they can only survive by scaring little kids and
Remember
getting
that?
juice.
So are the rich and powerful consuming this stuff?
And if you do some deep digging, you'll find the production of raw per detention center, in which they list all of the names, the birthdays, and how.
What he just showed is an actual real list, y'all. How much longer are we going to keep saying these things are theories when they keep showing us and telling us all the time? I'm not saying this is 100% proof, but they keep showing us and telling us all the time, y'all. So as always, let me know what you think in the comments. Any theory is welcomed. Thanks for watching. Y'all stay weird. Until next time.
What do you guys think about that adrenochrome stuff? Like, I don't know, man. I remember the Hunter S. Thompson movie with Johnny Depp. They were talking about it, and then they start like showing that A112 in the children's videos, like all the children's movies. Like, why? Why is that necessary? I don't understand. Unless they're trying to like hint something. It's pretty strange. But I mean, even more strange is like what that's all about, like how you get the adrenochrome and like, yeah, man, I don't know. It's a deep topic to look into. So brace yourself if you decide to go down that rabbit hole. anyways, that was another good video. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, share it with somebody. I'll see you probably in a couple days for the next one. Take it easy.